Guys, it's Tiff and thanks for joining me for my gift tag extravaganza. I'm super excited to share this with you. I used a gift that I won in a giveaway from thepinkcamera.com. They had an online crop that they did last month, and Lisa, who is Maggie Milo here on YouTube, was very generous to send me a Kaisercraft paper pad, and when I saw it, I fell in love with it, and it had some things that hinted at Christmas, but it was not traditional Christmas colors, and I thought, this is the ticket. This is exactly what I want to do for my Christmas tag this year. So I am super excited. Just to kind of give you an idea, my wrapping papers that I've picked out for this year are a black shiny one, and it has gold foil Merry Christmas all over it. I have a cream and gold polka dot, and I have a white and gold, I believe, stripe, and then I have a traditional Christmas plaid for just a little bit of color to my under my Christmas tree. But my tags I kept with the white, cream, gold, and black color scheme. So I'm super excited to share with you the tags that I've already created, and then I have a few that I've saved that we can do together. So first, I wanted to go over some of the supplies that you might need to create these tags. So first thing is pretty basic. You'll need a pair of scissors and possibly some wet adhesive, as well as a tape runner. I use both of these for different reasons, and I'll kind of go over that as we put our tags together, the ones that we're putting together. You may also want to grab like an assembly of washi tape. I used a couple of these, and then a couple that I don't have pulled here, but it just kind of is your preference, whatever you prefer. Then for a lot of my tags, I just use basic cardstock by Recollections from Michaels, or wherever you get your standard cardstock. I use both black, cream, and white. And I also use some embossing folders with my basic cardstock. However, I do not have those with me. My die cutting machine I'm keeping at my mom's right now, because that's where I'm doing a lot of my crafting. And so I leave my embossing folders with that, because you can't really emboss without your die cutting machine. So I will tell you though, I have two embossing folders that I primarily use. One is this snowflake pattern. It's really pretty, and it's by Cuttlebug. Here's a better idea of it on the back side of that. And then the other one is a Tim Holtz, and it's like a wood grain pattern. You can see that on the black. So I really love both of those embossing folders, and you can just use whatever embossing folders that you have on hand. So, and then the other thing that I used is an array of pre-made tags. If you use pre-made tags, it just makes things go a lot faster, but it's not a requirement. You can totally make, like, these are a basic pre-made tag. Super easy to make out of cardstock, and most of my cardstock ones, I don't think I used these, but you definitely could use these just to make things go a little faster. I did use some of these, which I picked up last year at TJ Maxx, and they're just really pretty, different patterns, and the gold, of course, went perfect with my color scheme. And then I had picked these up at Michael's, either in my last haul or the haul before last, for very inexpensive. I want to say they were under $1.50. I don't remember exactly how much they are, but they look like they're canvas just dipped in some gold paint, and they're just really simple and easy to use. So that is what I used as far as tags. I also, again, I used this paper pad. It's called A Touch of Gold that Maggie Milo sent me. I'll do a quick flip through. It looks kind of messy because I have really been using this. But if you want to see a better look at it, if you'll check out my thepinkcamera.com giveaway / haul video, there is an in-depth look at this paper pad. So I definitely used that. I also used some of this baker's twine that I picked up from Target, and as you can tell, I've used quite a bit because this was pretty full, and that's why I picked this up, because I knew I was going to need a good amount of this for these tags, and I didn't want to use up my entire supply that I already had. So when you're doing a specific project like this that you know you're going to use a lot of one product and you can find it very inexpensively, I suggest going ahead and picking that up. So that's what I did for this. Then the other two main things that you'll need to do some tags are going to be stamps and dies. So some of the stamps that I used are this Allie Edwards stamp set. It's a 2012 and it's called Christmas Day by Allie Edwards. And I used this Happy Holidays and I used this Old Christmas Tree. This is an older set and you can tell it is well loved, but I do really love this set. From this set, I just used the snowflakes to do some background stamping on some of my tags. Just because I was going with a different look than this more kind of whimsical look of this stamp set. I used a lot of these. I used the Merry Christmas. I used a bunch of the sentiments to do one tag in particular. And then I used some of the little pieces as well, like these little hollies and some of the snowflakes, the presents, and just really love that stamp set. And then I used two background stamps just because I wanted to do something other than embossing folders for a little texture in the background. So this Hero Arts Cling stamp is called Zigzag, and it's an older stamp. It's, let's see if it tells me the year. It's from 2012 as well. And then this one is even older. It's from 2011, and it is called Cling Dots. But I'm sure you can find, I think both of these are still available, but if they're not, I'm sure that you can find similar patterns made by either Hero Arts or another company. I am not certain of the name of this stamp set, which I did not talk about. It is a Hero Arts stamp set, and I believe I got it at Michael's one year at Christmas time, but that's kind of all I can tell you about this stamp set. And then this one is also Hero Art stamp set. Oh, you know what? This has a number on it, actually. It's CL343, if that's helpful. And then this one is called CL629. Does it have a name? Not that I can tell. Just this clear stamp set. So that is that. And then I used a few dies. Sorry if you hear things. I just dropped something. I used some dies. I used this Lawn Fawn set, and this is actually the first time that I've used it. And they're called Stitch Labels, and they're really super cute. And then I use this Tailored Expressions die, which I have used before. Let's see if it has a name. It's called Birch Tree Accessories. And I put the dies on the wrong side, but basically I only used it for the deer, and you'll be able to see the deer really well. Because I used a black one for some of them. I use this Paper Smooches, and it's just called Stars. Easy enough. I love stars, if you're not familiar with my channel. And then I use this Spellbinders Poinsettia die, which I've been dying to use. I got it a couple years ago, and I just super love it. I think it's really pretty, and I want to say I got it when Michael's marked it like to a penny or something really inexpensive. So those are the dies and stamps that I used, and let's take a look at the tags that I've created so far, and then I will go through and make a couple of tags with you. So this one's a little more on the plain side, but I still like how it turned out. It's really featuring the embossing folder, and then this is a die cut from the collection that I simply punched out and put some adhesive on, and this is a border also that came in the collection and added my baker's twine. I just used my Crop-A-Dile chomper. This is a brad setting tool, but it also has the hole punchers so that you can do that. Or not brad setting, eyelet, sorry, an eyelet setter. And so I just used that to punch my holes. Alright, here is the next one. Same embossing folder. Oh, I did use one other die. It's a Christmas tree die that we just picked up at Tuesday morning, but it actually belongs to my aunt. She's the one who purchased it. And so I left it again at my mom's. And so we share it though. So that is really cool. And it makes crafting, you know, a little more affordable. Then this is that Allie Edwards stamp, and then I don't know if you can see it because it's out of vellum, but this is a reindeer out of vellum, and it's like a shiny vellum. And of course the twine. So the twine is the main, besides the color scheme, is the main thing that is consistent on every tag. So here's another take on the reindeer. And then this is from the collection, and then that no peeking. And then this is a Teresa Collins punch, actually, which I have. It looks like this here. And I got that at Joann's a while back. So that seems to be the perfect size for these little circles. And then I had used the embossing folder again on the back of this. Now, most of these I have already done this. I forgot to do it on that one where I was able to show you the embossing really well. But I wanted to be able to write on these tags like to and from, and I actually have a stamp that stamps to and from, which will make things a lot easier. But I backed it with just plain cardstock if I embossed it, so that I'm able to do that. And then this is just a white cardstock deer. Another white cardstock deer. You can tell I really like this deer. Then this is actually a Heidi Swapp paper that I had left over from my daughter's birthday album that I'm working on. And it's from the Favorite Things collection. And this is just a die cut from the piece. And here's another one. This Warm Wishes is from that stamp set that I just had the number 4. Oh, and my aunt picked these rhinestones up at the Dollar Tree. She found black and clear, which was perfect for what I was doing. So she shared them with me. And then this is just a piece of gold paper from the paper pad in the background. And then this is a tag that came already as a tag, and I just layered it on the square. Added a couple of those Paper Smooches stars, and it says, "Be happy, be bright, be you." That was really cute. And I put black pattern paper on the back of that. And that is where those Galaxy and metallic markers, oh, if you saw my haul video from Target, I plan to use those to help me out. I don't actually know where I put them, or I would show them to you now. But anyways, they're here somewhere. So here's another one that I used, a tag that came in the collection, and just added some pattern paper and some washi, and then more stars. And this is just a plain cardstock background, so I didn't need to add the extra layer. I'll be able to write on that very simply. So like that. And then I use, this is the leaves from the poinsettia die, and I really like how they look kind of coming off of these. You'll see here in a minute, I use them quite a few times. And then here's one of those stitch labels and a little piece from the collection. And then this is that Zigzag Hero Art stamp. I only took my StazOn, and so I wish I had taken my VersaFine. It would have been a better impression, but I actually kind of like the look of this, so the sentiment kind of pops more than the background there. Here's another one using that same piece to create this card, and it just says "Love You," and I put these little rhinestones to make almost like little berries. Super cute. I love that one too. And then this one just says "For You," and here's the poinsettia die where I used 2 different colors, and then I put the little rhinestone in the center, and I have 2 different colored leaves, so it kind of goes along with the flower. Here's where I used a lot of stamps from that one stamp set and just stamped the background, kind of made my own pattern paper for this tag. And then another stitched label. Now this gold paper is actually just a scrap I had in my bin. It was a specialty paper I had picked up at AC Moore a while ago. So that is not the gold paper that's in the paper pad, but this piece right here is from the paper pad. So you see it goes well together. Here's a couple of the canvas tags. This one's a little more simple. Just did the Merry Christmas with a couple of stars. This one I really love. It has 2 of those Christmas tree dies layered up, the Happy Holidays, and then a few of the smaller stars. Whew. I've made quite a few, which I'm glad, because then I don't have to worry about it for a while. I won't have to worry about it hopefully at all. So then this one is where I use the Oh Christmas Tree stamp. Oh, and this is the only other pattern paper I use, and it's from Brighton Pier. It just, matched the color scheme. I add a few sequins, and there's a vellum tree here. I don't know if you can tell that or not. Again, added just plain cardstock on the back. If I use pattern paper, the pattern paper in that there's a 6.5 by 6.5. But in that paper pad is kind of thin, so I wouldn't use that as your total tag. Like, you're gonna need to add some cardstock to it. Here is where I did some embossing. Added Old Joy, and then this poinsettia is a single color. So I like the different looks that you can get by layering different colors and whatnot. And then there's another stitched tag. Here's a deer cut out in silver, and a star, and a vellum tree. I really like that one a lot. And then this Just For You. And Joy. I loved also using this PAL glitter paper. Just gives a little punch and something different. So, and all of the papers that you see, if I've added it in here, they were all in my scrap bin. So I didn't, cut any new papers or purchase any new papers. I just kind of used what I already had on hand. I like this one too. I had die cut a leaf out of this piece of cardstock, and so I just backed it with some gold foil and added little rhinestones. And it says Made with Love. And this one's Just For You. And Love. There's a lot of loves. Love was really popular in these pre-done circles. So I figured, of course, at Christmas you love the folks that you're gonna give gifts to. So it works for me. And that guy. Oh, here's another canvas tag. I really like these tags. They're super cute. Alright. We're almost done looking at the ones that I already made. A Gift For You. Lots of love. More lots of love. See, I told you there's a lot of loves. Here's where I used that stamp. It doesn't stamp super great onto the canvas, but you get the idea. It still looks like snowflakes. Here's this one. Made with Love. And one more Made with Love. Okay, so quickly let's go ahead and put together some of these tags. It's really a simple process. So for this tag, I have a pre-made gold tag, a vellum leaf, and a silver leaf, and then a black poinsettia. And I use the same size poinsettia this time. If you're going to use a vellum piece, if you can, tuck it behind something that's not vellum, then you don't see the pieces. So we're just gonna go ahead and glue that guy on. I found that it's a lot easier to use your liquid glue for the poinsettias and smaller dies, thin line dies. So, and I had already went ahead and stuck a rhinestone on there. But see how simple that is? And it looks so pretty, right? Then all you need is your twine. And you will be done. Sorry, hopefully you can see me. For this twine, I just bring a loop to the back, tuck these through, and give it a tug. Like that. Another tag done. So here I've already pre-punched my hole, but I will need my crocodile to go ahead and punch it again. Oh no, I won't. I'm just kidding. Because I punched it through my pattern paper too, just in case. Just trying to make it a little easier on myself. Let's see here. And all I'm gonna do is take my tape runner and layer these pattern papers up as simply as I can. Just adding adhesive to the back and going down the line here. And all I did was cut these out of the paper pad. Pretty simple task. And I love this number paper too. I think it's so cute for Christmas. And then all we have to do is trim around the outside of my pre-cut tag. You can totally use a paper trimmer for your tags. I kind of freehanded mine as far as cutting out the rectangles and whatnot, but a paper trimmer would be helpful if you're really concerned about super straight lines and things like that. And then where there's not a lot of wording, I'm just going to add this little tag that says a gift for you. And that's just a stamp from the multi-sentiment stamp set, the one that just has a number. And the stitched labels die from Lancome. And we're just going to swoop it again, make a loop, push the extra through. Forgive my band-aid. I was doing some cleaning earlier and I ripped up a piece of skin. It's a little graphic, isn't it? But I just really love how they turn out. They're just super cute, easy. That's a big part of it for me is that they're easy. You don't want this to be too overwhelming or too fussed over. Okay, so then we have this black tag, and I'm just gonna go ahead and add some stars to that. I really like how the stars pop on the black, what is this called? Cardstock. So this is what I mean. When you have such a thin die cut, I wish I had one of those fine line bottles, so I'm not going to lie to you, because I've been looking for one. I found one at my art supply store, and I'm just adding adhesive here. The good thing is this dries clear, so if you go a little over, it's okay. But, they had masking fluid in it. Like, I couldn't find one that didn't have something already in it. So, and I don't have a Hobby Lobby close to me, unfortunately. I know, it's just rude. They shouldn't do that to me, right? And so I have these two little gold stars too that I want to offset. I try to do everything in odd numbers if at all possible. It doesn't matter if it's 1, 3, 5, 7, whatever. Whatever you think looks good, but I try to keep things in odd numbers. It just kind of gives everything a little balance. So, and I'm just going to add this little tag that I cut out of the pre-punch, what are they called? Like tags that come in the back of the Kaisercraft pad. And I did cut some of them because they do have little nubbies. And I know this is controversial, but you know, I don't mind cutting them, you know, but they are there. So I just want you to be aware of that. So when I'm talking about the pre-punch things, these are what I'm talking about. See here, these already are cut out, but when you go to pop them out, if you look, I don't want to pop it all the way out. Let's see if I can bring it up. They do have like little pieces on them. So you can just cut that off the little edge. It's not hard. It is a little time consuming, but hey, it's worth it because they're really cute. And they're still a lot easier than, you know, stamping every single thing or what have you. So here is a tree that I die cut out. And this pattern paper, I don't know if you can tell, but it has embossing to it, and it actually came that way, which is really cool, again, because it alleviates a step. So if you have neat products like that, I would totally take advantage of it in a time like getting ready for Christmas, because let's be honest, we're all super busy, right? So this is that dot background stamp that I used on just some white cardstock. I cut out a tag shape, and then we added these Christmas trees in the little stamp banner and our twine, and we are just about done. We have one more I wanted to share with you, and so I have these two. Again, these are the two pattern papers that I just had in my scrap bin, Brighton Pier and Heidi Swap. And how I layer these up every single time is I just, where it looks like they would intersect, I just put a little adhesive, lay that down, put a little adhesive on the back of that, on onto our canvas. You could definitely use, sorry, I'm going to move that over just a smidgen because I'm going to add this label. And I want to make sure that I have enough room for that. I would definitely, what was I going to say? I forgot. Anyways, if I'm using vellum, I try to be cognizant of that and go ahead and do all my pattern papers first. Oh, I was going to say you could use hot glue for this project. That definitely would help. And I'm going to add actually a little liquid glue to this too, just to make sure it stays. But again, this is a, yes. I didn't put any on the top pieces, why? But I love that. Oop. So this is just a piece that I punched again out of the paper. And just layering that up on that tag is so easy. This is super fun. I really hope you guys give it a try and make your own Christmas tags this year. It's kind of nice when you don't have time to do just, you know, a layout or something like that. You can just sit down and do a few of these each night until you have them done. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video and possibly are inspired. If you haven't checked out this paper pad or thepinkcamera.com, make sure you do that as well. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye!